I'm Connor Roll, and this is Old Oscar Countdown, and here we are. We're at the week number 2 of the Oscar race. Things are still, increasing and increasing. I can't wait till we get to the final date. But this episode, we're going to be looking at possible upsets. Last week I looked at some of the Best Picture race and the Best Picture frontrunners. Next week I'm probably going to look at, probably say the directing race, the acting race, that sort of all the four actings and the directing sort of that above the line. We'll do another video for the crafts, and then we'll look into that, on a future date. But right now we're looking at possible upsets, and right now I think my possible upset, and I'll go through some of the different categories, not all the categories, but some of them where I think an upset could happen. First one is Lady Bird for Best Picture. I won't talk about this too much because I talked about it last video where I think it's, without a doubt, the most liked movie. Shape of Water is sort of a weird fish movie. It could be divisive, possibly. It's not divisive, but it could be. Or underwhelming. Three Billboards is definitely divisive, and Get Out didn't get some of that technical love that we thought. So Lady Bird, I see a scenario where it wins screenplay, it wins Laurie Metcalf, and it wins Best Picture. I see a scenario where it's a lot of people like this movie. They could say it's the Juno this year, where it's sort of a small indie with a big heart, but it feels very important. It has that Me Too movement. It's a very female-centric movie, and even if you're not a female like myself, I really gravitated towards the movie because I had a sister, or maybe as a person that has a husband and then has a daughter, for example, can see that sort of relationship because the way a mom and daughter fight are different than sort of maybe a dad and a son. There's different ways. How they sort of express their emotions, and Lady Bird sort of really delves deep into that. I found it really, really good. So I think Best Picture, there's a possibility that has that tiny movement, it has a screenplay, it has a firmer for screenplay. If it gets that acting nominee, that wins, let's say it wins screenplay, picture, and supporting actress. Look what Moonlight did last year. Won screenplay, supporting actor, and picture. It could happen. Greg Gerwig did get it for director. This movie is still strong. Don't doubt this movie. Don't cross it off your list just yet. Saoirse Ronan for Lady Bird is my next possible upset. She's been nominated twice. This is her third time. She is in the sort of ingenue stage. They've seen her rise from this small child actress to this sort of more female actress, and has not gone to the ways of drugs or more failure or whatnot. She's really come into her own. She's an incredible actress. She's only 23, and she carries this movie. She campaigns. Some of the things, though, is that she's maybe not as charming as we think. You look at something like her Golden Globe speech versus Frances McDormand. Frances McDormand blew her out of the water. I still think I'm going with Frances McDormand, but Saoirse Ronan is sort of building this sort of sweep and sort of this momentum. I think if Lady Bird, if they really like it, and we see it early on in the night win screenplay, and then maybe on win supporting actress, I wouldn't be surprised. I'd be clenching your teeth if it loses the Best Actress, because she's an essential part of the movie, Lady Bird, too. So I don't know. I think they really like her. Frances has won before, so they might want to give it to a new one, and they've done that a lot of times in the Best Actress category. So you never know. My next possible, which is Daniel Day-Lewis for Phantom Thread. This is in the Best Actor category. Gary Oldman has been the frontrunner for so long, but there's criticism against Gary Oldman, is that of course he looked like him, but he's overacting. The movies that people think is just mediocre. And Daniel Day-Lewis, if they really believe there's a narrative that this is his last movie, he is done. This is his last movie. It's the last time they can reward him. If they want to put him into that elite category with Katharine Hepburn, of the 4-time Oscar winner, she's already won 3, they might want to give it to him. I said that last episode, where Phantom Thread could possibly win because they want to give Daniel Day-Lewis his movie a win, but they could just want to give Daniel Day-Lewis a win. And Phantom Thread was really loved in the Oscars. It did nothing in the industry awards, but really showed up in the Oscars. But what did show up also in the industry awards? Daniel Day-Lewis. He made all the necessary cuts. So going into the Oscars with now the support of the movie and director, what is he going to win? Some people say, he costume design, score. But I think that Daniel Day-Lewis could possibly upset. You never count out Daniel Day-Lewis. Even though you look at Gary Oldman, even though he's doing so well, Daniel Day-Lewis could surprise. You never know. Next up, possible upset, Laurie Metcalf, Lady Bird. Allison Janney has been dominating, and so is the other 4 actors, but like I said in my last video, one of them has to fail. It's not going to go 4-4, I think, the entire way. I'm going to predict possibly Laurie Metcalf, because she's not campaigning like Allison Janney. They don't like I, Tonya as much as we thought. It got in for editing, which I predicted, but it didn't get in for screenplay. It didn't get in for screenplay, and it didn't get in for picture, which was a surprise. Margot Robbie and Allison Janney, who definitely has that love in the acting branch, but I just think that if they really like Lady Bird, and if this Lady Bird momentum sort of build like I see it, I think it can be. Laurie Metcalf is this possible winner because she's a possible frontrunner. She's not that. Allison Janney's character is so evil. Laurie Metcalf is just a mom. She's very relatable, but she is, harsh on her daughter for sure. She's a strict mother, but you feel more sympathy towards her character. I hope she wins. She's my favorite supporting actress performance of the year. I thought she was incredible. So I totally underperformed. So I think the races, a supporting actress race, out of all the acting races, are probably the closest in this one. Could go either way. You never know. Score, Phantom Thread. This is for Johnny Greenwood's score. Johnny Greenwood, if you don't know, is a member of Radiohead, and that could help him out because they've tried to nominate him before, but he's been disqualifying. He didn't get in for There Will Be Blood, which possibly could have won that year, but because he was disqualified because of weird logistics that they have, and then the master didn't get it for that either. And for this one, Phantom Thread is an incredible movie. Looking back at my top 10, I was going to give it an honorable mention. I'd put that in the description, but I probably would have cracked it in here. You never know. Really enjoy the movie now that I thought more about it, really. And the score is a character in it. It's like almost throughout the entire movie, the score. It's incredible. It was my favorite score of the year. I gave it at the Connors. And I just think that Johnny Greenwood also is a rock star. He's a member of Radiohead. He's not out front, Madonna or something that everyone would recognize. But if they want to get a rock star on the stage, and something like the front runner is Alexander Desplat for The Shape of Water, but they gave it to him Grand Budapest 2 years ago. So maybe they want to give it to Phantom Thread because if it doesn't get in for costume design, say they want to go in for Beauty and the Beast because Cinderella didn't win, and Beauty and the Beast is the number 1 movie of the year. They might want to give it to Beauty and the Beast there, and then snub Phantom Thread for costume design, but then where does the love for Phantom Thread go? Could go to score. I really want to see it happen because if you look at Johnny Greenwood and you see his interviews and stuff, he's not this big personable guy. I just want to hear him have a speech. That'd be really incredible. Anyways, my next pick is possibly my most well-researched and most possible, which is This Is Me for The Greatest Showman. Plus these, technical categories can go a lot of ways. There are a little more non-definitive answers like a Gary Oldman, right? So This Is Me for The Greatest Showman. Now, The Greatest Showman has been very well. Despite critical sort of lacklusterness, it has a great word of mouth. People, the audiences are really enjoying this movie and really spreading the word. It's not falling a lot week to week, and it's really sustaining. And it's doing an incredible job and it's a musical. So how can the number 1 song in a musical with only 1 nomination not get in? But you could say, oh, Remember Me, Coco. Pixar songs do really well. True. But I pulled some stats here, right? So Coco will win animated feature, I think, but it's not a movie love. There's some other Pixar movies it gets in for screenplay and picture. I don't think that's going to happen here. But let's look at these stats. So these are some of the previous Oscar song nominees or winners. So Monsters Inc., which won, but this was the year of Moulin Rouge, and no Moulin Rouge songs were nominated. But it's like, okay, I guess we're going to go with Monsters Inc. I think if Moulin Rouge song was nominated, it would have easily won. So it wasn't against the musical. WALL-E lost to Slumdog Millionaire, a musical. Cars lost to Inconvenient Truth, which is like, okay, well, wasn't Dreamgirls that year? Yeah, but it was WALL-E, Inconvenient Truth, and 3 Dreamgirls songs. By definition, those 3 Dreamgirls songs definitely cross each other out. I think if Dreamgirls had 1 nomination, it would have easily won, and once again, WALL-E would have lost to a musical. And even still, it was really a 2-song race, and lost to a documentary. So there's that. And then Toy Story, actually Toy Story 3 was, but this year this won the song, but you would say that Toy Story does have a history with it. You've Got a Friend of Me was a huge sort of success for Randy Newman, was a big collaborator back in the early days with the scores especially, and beat Tangled. So Tangled's sort of a musical, but it's that animated, so if they like that animated movie more, if like the Toy Story 3 more than the Tangles, the Loafer for best song. I just think right now in this year when you have 1 musical that's doing so well at the box office that people really like and has only 1 song, it could beat out Coco. But Remember Me, for example, from Coco is such essential parts of the movie that if they really like that movie, they're going to nominate it, and they're going to give it that win. But we'll see. Next one is War for the Planet of the Apes, visual effects. Some people think, oh, of course it's going to be visual effects. No, it's actually an underdog because Dawn of the Planet of the Apes didn't win. Rise of the Planet of the Apes didn't win. These are something, and surprisingly, these movies don't win. So I think that War for the Planet of the Apes, I think this is its year to win. It's never won the visual effects before. It has groundbreaking visual effects, and yet it never wins. But this is the end of a trilogy, a great trilogy that a lot of people love. This is only nomination, so if people are rewarded, they'll give it to it. Some people think Blade Runner 2049, but I don't think that movie's strong enough. It's going to get cinematography, I think, maybe production design, but the maybes, or maybe production design, maybe visual effects. But I think some of these other movies are going to spread the wealth a bit, because something like Blade Runner 2049 didn't even get in for Best Picture despite all of these great technical nominations. And my last pick, which these last ones I'm actually going with, by the way. I'm not just saying these are upsets. I'm actually going with them. I think they're going to win. Baby Driver for sound mixing. Now I was looking at my things and I was like, Dunkirk, they like a lot, but do they like it a lot? Because I had proceeding at one point to do film editing, sound editing, and sound mixing. Now, interesting thing for sound editing and sound mixing, I went 5 for 5 on that, but I was surprised because I went for the same nominations. So the same people that got nominated for sound editing got nominated for sound mixing. So you could say, okay, well, then there's going to be parallel. What if one's going to win the other, right? Wrong. I just don't think that Dunkirk's strong enough to win sound editing, sound mixing, film editing, and maybe something else. Four winners, Oscar winner, that could be surprising. I think it's only going to win 2. I think it's going to win sound editing and film editing, but not sound mixing, because sound mixing, if you don't know the difference, you don't need to really, but sound mixing, a lot of this category is mostly done for musicals. Musicals a lot of times win this. You could say, why La La Land won it last year? Well, that was a different scenario. The guy who won it was nominated 25 times before and never won, and he finally won, so something like this, crazy stuff like that. But Baby Driver, I'm looking at it, I don't think it's going to end for film editing. It got a lot of nominations for film editing for both the sound categories. So it has love in this category. People love the movie, and it's all about editing, and especially the sound and the music. So it's almost like a musical in that sense, because it's music front to back and such a central part of the movie and that pop songs. So the way they mix it, I think, is going to be appreciated, and I think that it's the closest thing to a musical in this category. They're going to go with Baby Driver to give it something. That's my rationality. So anyways, guys, those are all my possible Oscar upsets. Let me know in the comments below some of your Oscar upsets. What do you think is going to get in? What are some possible things that could surprise people? I know some people say Timothée Chalamet could still get in, Who knows? I mean, 3 Billboard supporting actor race, Willem Dafoe could still get in because the 3 Billboard people split the race. Could happen. You never know. I'm Connor Wold. Make sure you like the video. Comment below your possible upsets. And until next time, stay tuned.